Hello everybody, this is Dr. Fu. I'm going to teach Neuroscience Lab 1 and I'm still experimenting teaching this lab. I want to teach this lab in the most efficient way, which means you guys use the least amount of time, has the least amount of stress. However, this is not easy lab. A lot of materials require you to think deeply. So if you have questions or get confused, don't feel hesitate to ask. Any question is welcome. There's no stupid questions in this lab at all. Okay, so let's go ahead get started. First thing first, we're gonna talk about some serious thing, which is honor code. So there are three types of violation that you can violate honor code. The first one is cheating. So in this lab, particularly cheating means seeing other people's assignment or let other people see your assignment. It doesn't matter if they copy or not. If you're letting other people see your assignment, that's considered as a violation of honor code. So here is a scenario. If your best friend ever asks you, "Hey, please, can I see your post lab? I don't have time to finish mine. Can I see yours?" What should you say? You should say no. Okay? If you are asking other people to see their post lab or you are seeing other people's post lab, you are putting them in danger, and that's not good friends will do, right? Okay, seriously, you cannot see other people's post lab and don't see other people's post lab. But you can discuss questions. You can talk. You can ask other student, why such and such. But you cannot show them your post lab. Okay, that's how you avoid violate the honor code. I mean, we have a way to see if you're violating the honor code or not. Okay. And then another way to violate the honor code is plagiarism. We're going to talk about plagiarism more, and that's a very common mistake a lot of students will make. And then the third way to violate honor code is fabrication, which means basically make up stuff. And in this lab, we don't have that issue because we share data. If you want to use other people's data, if you want to use my data, I'm fine with that. So that's not the problem. Okay, let's talk about plagiarism. So what is a plagiarism? Is basically copy and paste other people's work or copy and paste things from any website. Even you copy and paste with quotation mark, even you cite them, it's still considered as a plagiarism. And there's another way, plagiarism, which is a paraphrasing. Even you cite them, it's still considered as plagiarism. Here's an example. If there's some people say, "Dr. Fu is our lab instructor, she's a good instructor," and you say, "Okay, I'm going to use that sentences and just restructure that. I say, our instructor is Dr. Fu, who is a good instructor." This is considered as a plagiarism. Okay? So basically, you cannot use other people's phrase directly. And also, when you're using other people's image or ideas, you have to cite them. If you don't, that's also considered as a plagiarism. These things not be concerned in the lab, but in the future, if you're doing research, you'll have to be careful with that. Okay, how do you avoid plagiarism? First of all, obviously, if you use your original work idea or concept, you don't have this problem, right? And you always want to cite your reference. But when you are writing your thesis, when you're writing any report, you're definitely going to read some reference, right? And then you want to use the idea or the concept in that paper. How do you avoid plagiarism? First thing, you read that reference, and then you put the reference away. And then you try to write the idea that you want to borrow from that paper in your own language. And obviously for this lab, never ever read other students or let other students to read your post lab. You can discuss, year receiving is fine, but you cannot see their work. So if you have more questions about plagiarism, about the honor code, you can contact this number or this email. For rating questions, you can contact the rating center. Something serious, if you violate honor code. Okay, next we're gonna talk about life safety. There's nothing in this lab is really dangerous unless you eat a preserved sheep ring or a cockroach. but I still want you to know the common sense of working in a lab. First of all, I want you to know that's your responsibility to know which chemicals are dangerous, which chemicals are toxic, and you want to handling them safely. If you go to graduate school, your PI is not going to talk to you. They're not going to say, hey, look, this one is really toxic. You don't want to eat it. You are totally on your own if you go to graduate school. Okay, now how do you know which chemical is dangerous, which chemical is not? Okay, most of the chemical on the label, they will have this diamond thing. So there's a 4 piece of information you can get from this diamond. They're color coded. Blue color represent a health hazard. The higher the number, the more danger that is. So if that number is labeled 4, that's deadly. If you eat them, you're dead. The red one is for fire hazard. The higher the number, is easier to catch on fire. And then the yellow one is reactivity. And for the white ones, you are going to have different labels. For this situation, the W here means water with a dash there. That means this one you cannot use water on it. And there's some other labels, for example, OXY, that means this thing is oxidizer and acid. LK means that thing is alkali, and corrosion and radioactive. So from this diamond, you can have a quick idea about if the chemical is dangerous or not. Okay, let's take a look at examples. Here I have 2 chemical labels. My question is, which one may kill you? The answer is this one. Why is that? Because the blue diamond part means the dangers to health. Okay, so 3 is higher than 2. 3 means extreme danger, so you have 3. That means that's extremely danger to your health. And number 2 is the hazard. It means probably dangerous, but it's probably not going to kill you. And the 3 here means fire. This one can be on fire easily, but it's probably not going to kill you, right? Pretty much all the chemicals that you buy from suppliers, they will provide you a material safety data sheets, and on these data sheets you are going to have more detailed information about the compound. So every time if you work with a new chemical, you want to read these data sheets carefully. And then when we're working in the lab, we generate a lot of waste, right? People categorize waste. So biohazard waste, the waste that related to dead bodies, the biological waste, and chemical waste. They contain dangerous chemicals. And the chemical waste have 2 kinds. One is solid, the other is liquid. When you're dumping the chemical liquid waste, you have to dump them into a designated container. You cannot dump them under the drain because you will pollute the environment that way. And then the sharpened needles, they have to go sharp containers, because if you dump them in a regular trash, the cleaning people, when they pick up the trash, they may be at risk to being punctured by these needles or sharps, right? Okay, in the lab, you always want to wear personal protective equipment. Different lab will have different requirement of this PPE. So you always want to follow the directions of the PPE for different lab. So emergencies. If you happen to have some dangerous chemicals splash into your eyes, first thing you can do is to wash your eyes. Pretty much every single lab have an eye wash. They look like a sink, but they have these 2 round structures, and the water can come out from these holes, and they come out with high pressure. You can rinse your eyes, and then after that you can call 911 if that's really dangerous. Let's talk about what happens if you have a large amount of toxic chemicals splash onto your body. First thing, you can take an emergency shower, and then you take your clothes out. Then you probably can get 911. Okay, let's talk about this emergency shower. Every single lab will have a working emergency shower. The emergency shower will have a handle. If you pull the handle, the water will come down. So if you go to the lab and you see this handle, don't pull it, because if you do that, the water will come down on you. Okay, so that's how you use the emergency shower. And in case of fire, so if fire happens, your first concern is about yourself. You can notify others, but take care of yourself first. Okay, so when fire happens, the first thing you do is run. Okay, so this is the common sense for working in a lab, and I want to remember the information that I told you here because that's not only important for working in neuroscience lab, that's working for every single lab.